The world's definition of a man is not a man. You're not manly by how big you are, how much you can bench, or what kind of car you drive, or what kicks you got on your feet. That doesn't make you a man. How you treat other people, like, do you want to help the weak or do you want to make fun of them? There's a difference. One's a boy, one's a man. The world's version of man is nothing but a child.
Do you have any intention when you're coming here, like the stuff you'll read or what you're gonna do?
Yeah, this right here, man. I like sit down. I usually I'll pray. It just depends. I mean, some mornings I'm like, I want to go back to bed, but I'll just sit here, get these guys situated, sip on my coffee. I'll start praying or just start, kind of going off. I usually dive into Proverbs or something, just to get my brain firing. Sometimes I'll go to the Gospels or wherever. Sometimes I'll read other books. And sometimes my wife will come out and there's 5 books. I'm just referencing everything. I just dork out, man, which is weird because I've never done that in my life. You'll never see me in school with highlighters and taking notes. And sometimes I'll, if I have a big dream or a really good dream, I'll write my dreams down. I'll just sit here and write it down because those are important. We're communicated that way a lot of times. So it just kind of depends on what's going on. Sometimes I'll just sit in quiet and just admire them. It just depends. But usually come in to do a little bit of praying, read, pause, meditate on what I'm reading, and that's it.
Do you remember when you was able to slow down that way? Because I'm guessing when you was in your career, you must have been always on and trying to do something.
Yeah. So I wanted to always start, I used to sleep in until 8 or 9. And this was probably a few years ago. I started praying. I wanted to get up earlier to read. That was it. And after a few weeks of that, I would start getting up. I started getting up at 5. So I was like, this is awesome. So I'd get up and I'd be ready to go. So I bought all these mindset books because I was just that I was so infatuated with. I'm like, this is so awesome. The mindsets and how the power of thought, right? So I just started reading them. And I remember one day I was reading, I just got done with this book and I always had my Bible. These chairs used to be in there before we did this room. And I put my book down and I always had a Bible sitting at this little middle table. And I put my book down, I just looked down and I'm I just knew, I was I need to be in that more. I need to dive into that. And to be quite honest with you, buddy, I would read a page and I'd be yeah, I'm good. It wasn't fulfilling to me. So I started praying again, make this come alive, make me want this, make me desire this, show me. And I don't remember the timeline. I don't believe this was before I heard him say, start talking about me. I believe this was before. I believe. My timeline's a little jacked up. But after a couple of weeks of praying that and just getting to these mindset books, I'm man, I'm missing. The tank was on empty. I mean, it was so great information. So I started getting into this and this pushed out everything else. And I made this my foundation. So I would there was probably a year and a half where all I read was that. And I've listened to the Bible. I've done the Bible in a year for a few years before, but it wasn't my heart wasn't in it. It was more a religious checklist. I can say I did it. I did my devotion today. Not that I remember anything that I, heard or whatever. But now I can just sit with it. Sometimes I'm reading page after page. Sometimes I'm reading a scripture and I'm ooh, okay, we need to sit with that one. And I'll just sit and I'll pray on it, read it over and over again. It just depends however I feel led that morning. But this thing came alive. I didn't realize the power of it. I mean, again, huge naysayer until I started praying. I'm please give it to me. Show me if this is this book of life. And not that I was testing or anything, I really desired it, like a full heart posture. I really desired it, and he gave it to me.
The idea of getting up in the morning and spending that time period of reading books, filling your head with like good messages, teachings, self-improvement books, that kind of stuff. What's the big reason for that? Like doing that first thing?
Well, it's like setting your day. I mean, every day is a different day. You don't know what's coming at you. I mean, we go work out. I always use the workout analogy because that's what I used to always do. I mean, still do. But you're not going to get huge or stronger or faster if you just work out like once a week. Right? I mean, would you agree with that?
Yeah.
We're just not. But we go like multiple times, hit different bodies, different movements, all that stuff. It's the same thing, but you're prepping your mind that does everything else. That mind is going to get you to the gym. That mind is going to make you want to eat healthier. That mind is going to want to treat others better. That mind is going to want to treat yourself better. That mind is going to get rid of the toxic thoughts that this world just has plastered everywhere. Around every corner, it flushes it out. And this is what we're missing the most part is we'll do these things that look good to our eyes, but we won't do the things on the inside. That's the problem we have right now.
Taking stuff from your career into your day-to-day life. And I think that's a curiosity for a lot of people, like now where you stand. Is this, do you see connections where you're like, okay, that's something we used to do. We used to prime the mind, or we would prime ourselves before a mission or in the morning. Like, is this something that you feel that you might have carried over or learned in?
Yeah, I think so. I think I was just looking in the wrong places. Like I knew the importance of mind. I mean, when I got to certain units, they would give us a reading list of like, but it was more like operational based of like real world events that actually happened and what they did, how they overcame like being hunted down or captured or whatever it was. And those are really good books, but it all ties. I mean, the foundation, like it just, I cannot remember his name, but there was a famous basketball coach and he would start training on putting on your socks. Like we can't go dribble the ball a correct way. We can't pass and shoot and all that stuff, but we don't know how to put on our socks. And you go like put on your socks and your shoes, all these things, like learning these basic things first. And we always would say, get back to the basics. See that, and you can see that in shooting all the time. People want to do all these cool things. If you don't have your basics and your foundation down, you're going to miss it. You got to know this before you move up here. And you got to maintain this every time. It's just like the foundation of a house. We can keep adding on, but if we have a horrible foundation, it's going to fall over. I mean, look at the Leaning Tower, what is it, of Pisa? I mean, whoop, right? Not a great thing. And that, like, Christ is that foundation.
One of the things I was interested in is the S&T training.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Like right after Buds?
Yeah. So like is that how you were selected for something like Team 6?
So that's actually another one. So you do like Buds, the thing that everyone pretty much knows about. And then after that, I know it's changed. Usually you go to, like I had to go to jump school and then I went to this specialized training, like it's 3 months. It's more operational training. But that is just to go to the regular SEAL teams. That is just getting into the SEAL teams. After you do a couple deployments with the regular SEAL team, your number of SEAL teams, then you get selected to go to the elite SEAL team. And that's a whole nother 6 months training session. And that's a butt kicker.
And has that got a formal name? Or?
Yeah, so everyone, like Tier 1 development group or SEAL Team 6 is what, most people know it as. But that's you got to do 6 months there. And a lot of people get washed down the first couple weeks because we do all the room clearances, all the CQB stuff. But it's stressful. It's a stressful environment, and it's on purpose, obviously. But it's super cool, man. It's really learned a lot.
So then S&T is what is where you are in a particular group, or like? Yeah,
it's just that you're still a student. You're still a student. You're not attached to a team.
Right. Okay.
So they're just making you more operational capable. Because like when you go to Buds, like it's all like, hey, let's beat the crap out of you, figure out if you're going to be here or not.
Yeah.
And then you learn like the very basics. But but there's a little bit more. You're putting it all together, like inserting, infill, time on target, exfil, and then like extract. So all the phases of a mission.
And every SEAL has to do S&T.
Correct.
Right.
There's so many different names and acronyms that have changed throughout the time. It's like, it's hard to keep up with it. Cause I mean, I know what I did when I was there, and I know it's changed a lot of times. Like they added Kodiak, Alaska training for winter warfare. I never got to do that. They did it the Buds class after me. So things changed just to better the guys and all that stuff.
Another thing that I think is a big interest to me is being a morally just warrior, or a morally just fighter.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have been able to have your career with if you'd found the Lord earlier?
I do. A good friend of mine put it this way: it's like you could be standing on the outside of a wall looking into a compound, and two guys next to each other could be taking the same shot, and one of them could have a hostility as like, these guys suck, blah blah blah, and almost have like a hateful heart versus, I know I'm here for a mission because of X, Y, and Z. I'm protecting myself, protecting my buddy, stuff like that, and protecting for the things that you believe you're over there to do for, which is a whole nother episode probably, because that's a whole nother like layer right there. But it's just like your heart posture. It's like not go over there just to kill people so they no longer have their family or the family no longer has them. It's to complete a mission and get rid of, some seriously evil people. And sadly in war in general, sometimes ones that are not the evil ones are kind of caught in crossfires and stuff like that. That's just like the nature of the beast. But when we were operating in the SEAL community, we knew who we were going for. We knew what they did. We have proof. You can see it on videos, all these things. They were, high value targets, medium value targets. So we knew who we were going after. It wasn't just some random dude on the side of the street.
Interesting. I never thought of it like that. Yeah, but you guys have so much more intel going into.
Oh, we would hear conversations about what they were saying and their plans and all that stuff. You have this stuff. It's not like you're just going out there and start taking down people. Now there is cases like that where the enemy might have taken over a city and we need to take it back. And if, they would put out a curfew, if anyone, especially a military aged man, is out, then you're free to engage. It just depends, it depends on the circumstance, what the rules of engagement are, stuff like that.
Wow. I mean, again, I think it might be better to say for the interview, but I can't help myself to ask. How different is that? So you were, where were you before the SEAL? Sorry, you was.
We were like, where did I deploy?
Yeah.
Afghanistan, Iraq, Africa, mostly Afghanistan and Iraq.
Sorry, before becoming a SEAL.
So I did 4 years in the Marines. I never deployed.
Oh, never deployed as well?
Yeah, I didn't do anything.
Okay. What would the differentiating factor for you, like having that knowledge, did that help? Like having the intel, understanding?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, it kind of like justified everything of like, this guy did this. I mean, there'd be times this guy's responsible for killing the Americans that we just saw on Fox News 2 weeks earlier. You would see it. I mean, it was like very cut and dry. And obviously if you're, a person driving in a convoy and they start getting hit and a bomb goes off and your buddy's bleeding out, I mean, it's very easy to engage the enemy at that time, right? So there's circumstances that go into this. I know with like any op that I did, we had all the things, or we were engaged or something like that. It wasn't just a good luck out there, see what you can get. It was never like that.
I've been getting tons of messages asking about my health protocols ever since I did the world's heaviest marathon. The experience took a toll, and getting back to optimal health has been an absolute journey. That's where Marek Health have been absolutely essential. Their approach is beyond quick fixes. It's about long-term health and performance. They work with medical professionals to create personalized, evidence-based plans tailored to your needs, using pharmaceutical-grade treatments and cutting-edge diagnosis. Whether it's TRT, peptides, supplements, or like me, getting full health analysis to get you back on track, Marek Health provides everything that you need. And it's not just for athletes. If you're an entrepreneur or businessman like me, you might want that renewed focus, clarity, and energy. That's where Marek Health can get your brain performing at its peak. From comprehensive blood work to customized health plans, Marek gives you the tools to optimize your life. If you're ready to take control of your health, go to marekhealth.com and use code Mulligan for 10% off. The link's down below. I can't recommend them enough. And if you just wanted to get started, I would go and get your blood work done. Go get assessed, find out where they can help you. Use the link down below for 10% off using code Mulligan. Let's dive back into the video.
You spoke on length in the book, just how you understood now that you'd hurt people, and you'd impacted people and all this kind of stuff. And I think most guys probably feel out of control with it.
Well, a lot of them don't want to admit that they don't have control because pride takes over. I'm a man. I did X, Y, and Z. Clearly, I've got my stuff together, but they don't. Dudes that can come out and say, like, I'm struggling here. I need help. To me, that's a man. Like, that's strength. To realize, hey, I've got a problem. I want to fix it for myself, my family, for those around me that I love, and just to be a better human to other humans. Like, dude, that takes a lot of courage and strength to do. A lot of people don't want to admit that. I mean, I can go through, if I went on media and watched podcasts, you can see it. Guys that are just struggling and trying to put this facade, which is what I was doing, put this facade up as I've got all this figured out. And they get fed by the world that, yeah, man, you do. But inside, they are a little boy, which is what I was. And that, I mean, it takes a man to come out and do that, dude. It really does. And I still have to walk through this stuff. I mean, there was times that I'm like, man, crap, please forgive me. I didn't mean to do, but it gets better. You know what I mean? It gets better and better. It's definitely not what I was. Oh my gosh, like that guy's dead. But it's a daily walk. That's the whole thing. It is a daily choice to be like, hey, I choose to set my eyes on you and walk in your path. And please give me the strength to do that.
Do you remember the first time admitting that you didn't have it all figured out? Like, did that kind of shake your life up a little bit? Yeah,
a little bit. Because I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to admit it. And then again, this kind of goes back to your confession piece, right? Is I didn't want to, we're told like you keep stuff in the dark, it's going to remain in the dark. You bring that out to the light, that dark has got to go away, and it will. And a lot of guys don't have that strength to do, which I was that guy too. So, but yeah, you bringing it out, and I don't remember the exact time or what it was, but then I was like, wait, okay, if I did it this time, okay, I've got more. I have a lot more. So I just started coming out with it, whatever it was. Like if I was in a relationship, I would just like I threw it all out there, because now I don't have anything in my closet. Before it's like, I don't want to say this, I got to protect this. It's not the way to live at all. And a lot of guys are in that place. They don't want to speak it. But when it's not there anymore and it's already out, there's nothing on you. It's beautiful. It is so relieving. Usually I have a couple bags in here and I'm gone for the day. So if I got to go train, I'll go train. I got my computer if I'm going to go work or whatever it is. So, or meet up with someone.
When you would go for buds, Hell Week, all this kind of stuff, the mentality of there is no quit. I mean, I think you said shouldn't be in your vocabulary.
Right.
How do you develop it? What was the point where you developed that, or was you just born with that kind of attitude?
Well, it's just the thing. What do you want to focus on? I mean, if we focus on, we become the product of what we focus on. If I focus on the negative about someone, I'm going to see you in a very negative light. Like, I can't believe he does that, or she does this, or whatever it is. But when I see the positive, it's like, oh my God, I'm so thankful for this, and this, because there are many things that we should be thankful for. It's the same thing, dude. Like with your children, people will look at children. I used to do this as a burden. I've got to take care of them. I've got to do these things. Where if I change it, I'm blessed by these things. I get to do these things. This is so awesome.
Yeah.
It's how you look at things. Like, oh man, I'm dreading to go into the gym. This sucks. Or dude, I get to go to the gym, get to better myself. I know I'm going to feel awesome afterwards. And I'm gonna treat myself to a pancake afterwards because I worked my butt off for it or something. You know what I mean? How do you look at it?
Stood in, in your gear with all the sand, in between your thighs, the cold.
Yeah.
Could you do that? Could you stand
For
there?
sure. For sure.
You were doing that.
Yeah, I was not thinking about, I mean, of course the thought like this kind of sucks, but I have two choices. Keep pushing through with a better mindset and think about the positive because there is an end here, or quit and then it's over. And then regret, shame, I'm not good enough. All those things are gonna come into play. And there's men out there have got to live with that to this day. And I don't want to be on that side. Beat me down. I'm not quitting. It ain't happening. It won't happen. And I just look at it the same with the spiritual side. It's like, hey, I know now there is good and there is evil, and I choose over here. And if I do slip or mess up, I'm going right back. Please forgive me and then I will be. And then I'm back on it. Like I said yesterday, the righteous will fall down 7 times, but they will get back up again. We're not called to be perfect. We're called to strive though. Like wherever we are, it's not where we should be staying. We should be growing, just like when we walk in here. We shouldn't be staying where we are today. We should be trying to rip, tear, and then come back, rest, and feed it with good nutrition to get better.
No.
It's all the same.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I love that, man. Right, let me see if I've got this.
Now you want a pancake. That's all you heard. He said pancake. Yeah, so I was in here. This was after I mentioned, went to jiu-jitsu, went to my counselor, came back, it just seemed like all chaos was breaking loose. And I came out here to work out. And I believe I was over here, and I was over here. I was just I couldn't even know what to work out. I was just like trying to not lose my mind. But what I was doing at that time was losing my mind. And I remember I had thoughts of just ending it, going to get a pistol and being like, which I've had thoughts of that before, and I thought we were done, and it just resurfaced back, and I was like, I do not want to do this at all. And I called a buddy, and that works with one of our SEAL foundations, like, hey, dude, I need to get some medical something, because I know what to do. And he's like, I'll take care of it. I'll get a hold of you, or on Monday, I think, or in a couple of days. I think it was on a Monday this was happening. So I hung up the phone, and I'm just still kind of like looking around, I was losing my mind. I was like just being engulfed in just not goodness. There was like turmoil. And I lost it, man. I was like, I can't do this. And I remember I was like about right here. I was like, I cannot do this alone anymore. And I was crying out to the Lord, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't do this. What do I need to do? And I was just like, please help me. And I was just trying to surrender the best I knew how to surrender. And after a minute or two, I just got this peace that came over me, and I'm like, I got to stop drinking. And this was about 3 years ago. I was like, I got to stop drinking. So I got my phone. It was probably over here next to where the radio was. I got my phone. I texted my wife. I was like, babe, I think I'm done drinking. And I didn't know this at the time. She was in the other room at that very moment in the closet in our bedroom praying. And she comes out of that door, and I meet her there. She is just red-faced, in tears. I'm in tears. And I just start apologizing. I'm so sorry about everything, about anything I could think of, just apologizing. I don't know what's wrong. I need some serious help. And I think I need to stop drinking. And so she's like, all right, she's like, I'm going to quit with you. And she really only drank because I drank anyways. So we got rid of all of our alcohol out of all. So I was like, can I get rid of everything? She's like, do it. She's like, do it. So I got rid of it all. And I think at this, it's probably been 2 years and 9-10 months or something like that since that day. I've not had a sip of alcohol, not even a drop. And I don't want it. And it's not like shame on you for doing it. Nah, it's just for me, it's not for me anymore.
And then, so does this align to getting rid of the patches, getting rid of the stuff like that? Was a similar time period?
So this moment was the beginning of it all. this was the beginning of it all. I mean, so much, buddy, I'm not making this up, but I told you some crazy stuff has happened in this house. Crazy stuff has happened. I was talking to my wife. We were standing right here and we were talking about following the Lord and like we need to, we're missing something. We're standing right here and this shelf, it was a different shelf. This shelf completely just toppled over. Never happened before. There was nothing wrong with it. Straight up just fell over. In that very moment when we were digging in, we were talking about like Ephesians 6, actually. We were talking about like the armor of God, arming up, like we're missing him. We were starting to like, hey, we got to dig in harder. We're missing something. And at that very moment, this knocks over. And that's like one of many things that happened. So the process, what we do is obviously cut the leather first. Yeah. And then after that, like for this, so this is our most popular one, the by the bloods. And we'll start dyeing the leather, just the red, and we'll have to, so it would look like this.
Right.
You have to do multiple coats on that. And then we'll glue it on. And then after we glue it on, we'll go through and what we're going to do today is we'll grind it, or not grind it, we'll bevel it kind of and put our holes in here for our stitching holes and get it all aligned. And then after that, throw it in the engraver. We'll engrave this and the names, we'll put the names on there on the back. Some Bibles will put verses on the inside. And then after that, we'll paint the inside panels. And then the final touch is we'll sometimes paint the cross red, and then we'll do the blood splatter for the final touch. And then, that's not the final touch, then we sew. Sewing's the last thing. So it'll punch through and then you get your stitch line.
What's a typical evening of doing this? Like, do you guys just chat about what happened throughout the day, things you've been thinking of, and get the work done whilst you're chatting away?
Usually a whole lot of standing around because we end up engrossed in a conversation.
A lot of times we'll do an engraving, and some engravings take like 30 minutes. So we're waiting for that. So we just drink coffee and chat it up. Maybe some tears sometimes.
Yeah.
Which is all right. Tears are welcome.
Do you ever struggle with crying?
For sure. But yeah, because it wasn't manly, right? That's what we say. But no, I don't have a problem with it now, which I think I've shown you over the last couple of days. Sometimes, I mean, the best ones are when you're not expecting it. Like to be honest with you, yesterday I was not expecting two of those. That was like a double tap. Like, oh gosh, here we are. But I used to like stop my conversation. I don't want to go there because of the tears. Now I just let it flow, man. It's so relieving, healing. I mean, the only reason why dudes don't cry is because they feel or they think or it seems like that's not manly. And that's just what society says. And society, as we know, is not right.
What's the fallout from like holding on to that kind of stuff? Like not there now.
Well, it just builds up. I mean, it just builds up. If you're dealing with something, you don't talk about it or get it out or bring that darkness to light, it's going to manifest in many different ways. And a lot of those things can be anxieties, depression, lack of self-control. A lot of those things will build up and you'll take it. It's coming out one way or the other. Either you decide to deal with it and stand firm in it, or, it can come out in bondages and addictions. And I mean, like for me, it was the alcohol. I would just drink. That's how I dealt with it. Anytime I had, and we can see this everywhere on like TV and stuff like that. Anytime there was any kind of stress in my life, I can take care of the stress with a glass of wine. Just like we talked about with the gym. Same stuff. But yeah, I never knew that talking would be so powerful.
I'm wondering if you see sort of this anti-based to what you're saying right now. Like it's this masculine way of being of like.
Well, like men don't do this, like we should do this. Is that what you're talking about?
Shouldn't cry. should be manly.
Yeah, for one, I used to be that guy. But we got to understand that we're in a very lost world. In our definition of what we consider a man is really a little child. Manly is addressing your things. Like men, like I said, dude, we look at the outward appearance, and that's not what we should be going through. We're going internally. What is that like? I told you about that guy that I saw, and he was so weak and fragile, and I almost like felt sorry for him. 2 years later, dude never put on any side, but just the way he carried himself, dude was a boss. It was awesome to see. But no, the world's definition of a man is not a man in God's eyes. Not even a little bit. You're not manly by how big you are, how much you can bench, or what kind of car you drive, or what kicks you got on your feet. That doesn't make you a man. How you treat other people, who you serve, and are you just a genuinely, morally, and ethically good person? Like, do you want to help the weak, or do you want to make fun of them? Are you all about yourself or others? There's a difference. One's a boy, one's a man. The world's version of man is nothing but a child. And I used to fall into that category.
Do you still find the people you need to find in your life? Like, you know, the right people? Like, have you struggled with that? Or has that been, because you two have obviously walked into each other's lives at some point. Like, has that been difficult? Or?
I think when I started taking the I would say the more righteous path, which following the Lord, following Jesus, my circle was here, and it got definitely smaller because, like I said before, a lot of people were talkers and I'm this, I'm that, but they didn't show it in their daily lives. They still did certain things, still acted a certain way, still treated certain people a certain way. And I decided to go all in with the Lord. And not many people do that. And so, to be honest with you, my circle is extremely small. I mean, I've left men's groups. I've left certain things where we're just trying to go with the flow, be cool, be hip, all that stuff. And that's not for me. That's not my calling. I mean, some other people might be just fine there. That's not mine.
What's the indicator of somebody? Like, is it a sense? Like, you have a sense from somebody that
I'm told.
You're told.
Yeah. Just being led. Like like I've alluded to, just the Holy Spirit saying we gotta get, I mean, like with a men's group, like guys that I really liked and adored, and I really had a great time. And I was like, man, am I supposed to be pulling out of this? And after I keep hearing it over and over, I got to be obedient and step out and just say, I love you guys. I hope the best for you. This just isn't for me right now. And that's just what I got to do. And a lot of us don't do that because we don't want criticism and we don't want them to think this, or it might seem one way. I'm just trying to follow the righteous path to the best of my ability. And I've learned that it doesn't come from following man. It comes from following him. And I only get that by seeking him earnestly with all my heart, which sounds so weird. Because again, like I've said before, it's like, I would beat myself up for saying this stuff. It makes no sense, but it makes every bit of sense when you learn that scripture and then that prayer and then that obedience really does change, renew you, and transform you into this new creation. It is the most beautiful thing. It goes back to what we kind of spoke on. We live in a world where people are comfortably miserable. They don't even know what good is. Actually, they call good evil. That's where we are. I don't want any part of that. I choose to follow the Lord. That's it.